Hey, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? Steve here with Raiken Profit, coming to you guys with another live green room show. During today's show, we're going to be talking about the journey of starting your own e-commerce store slash business from scratch. And to dive a little deeper, it's going to be kind of like my story because I started an e-commerce store. I started the process about 30 days ago and launched my store a couple days back and made my first sale. So that's kind of like the motivation of doing this show, to share with you guys how to start your e-commerce store. But anyways, my name's Steve Raiken, Raiken Profit. Been an entrepreneur for over 3 years, eBay, Amazon, Kindle Publishing, now my own e-commerce store and more. Love every single day. I do not look forward to ever going back to a normal job, but that's a little bit about me. Let me pass it off to, let's switch things up today. College Picker, man, let's get you number 2 right now.
Chris can't be third. He's going to get mad. Anyways, my name's Eric. A lot of people on the YouTube know me as the College Picker. I started doing eBay, Amazon, Craigslist. I now do Etsy. I am a licensed pharmacist, so I do that hustle on the side sometimes too. I am a co-founder of The Green Room. I do not have my own Shopify store, so I'm very excited to learn about this stuff today. What about you, Chris?
What's up? What's going on, guys? Bonafide Hustler here, also known as Chris. Also the third co-founder of The Green Room University. Yeah, excited about this show. It should be a lot of fun. If you are watching this, there's a live comment feed. If it's a Wednesday night, likely it's a live show. I buy and resell stuff, from garage sales, estate sales, yard sales, flea markets, pawn shops, swap meets, big box stores, and I put it on places like eBay, Amazon, Craigslist, my antique booth, and consignment stores in town. That's what I do, and it should be a really fun topic. I've also juggled the notion of beginning something in relations to what we're about to talk about today. And I think it's going to be a lot of help to you guys out there, at least pique your interest. And we definitely want to grill the absolute crap out of Raiken, because this is going to be a really good show. I have a feeling there's going to be a crazy amount of content. So
it's something different, it's something.
Oh, it's totally something different. And it's something now, like this is a big deal. Like Shopify stores are big deals. Like everyone has them.
It's kind of buzzing around the community because there's a lot of changes going on with Amazon. There's a ton of people selling on Amazon with all these restrictions, and
I just got restricted last week for merch.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I got kicked off merch myself because I was an inactive account. Like if you're selling on Amazon merch and you've never put a shirt up, but you had your account approved, they actually went and they swept, they cleaned the house and they pretty much terminated everyone's account. Mine got terminated.
I'm out.
Eric's got terminated. Yours is fine, Chris, right?
Mine's still there. Yeah.
But, a lot of brands are being restricted. People are getting suspended off of Amazon FBA for selling products. It's a very uneasy time for Amazon sellers. And I think it's a great time to talk about alternative ways to be able to sell products. So it's going to be a lot of fun. 137 people watching live right now. If you guys are excited, what can they do, Chris? What can they do right now to show that they're pumped up for this show?
Well, I am going to, rattle off some names here that I see in the feed, but I do want to ask you guys to like the video. I promise this information is going to be really cool. We have a very basic outline which leaves a lot of like random questions that we're going to go into the feed for. So it's going to be a really interactive type show. While I have you guys' attention real quick, don't forget about our free guide, right? 100 amazing items to resell. These are things that you can find in thrift stores and garage sales. You can check it out down below. It's the first link. And that is an amazing guide right there. I can't tell you how many things I find from this guide all the time. And so yeah, we want to spread the wealth of knowledge to you guys. Go check it out down below, free guide. Plus you'll get, thrown into our little email sequence, which has a lot of really good information, a ton of good information, some micro discounts here and there. It's good stuff. So let's go into the feed real quick. Give me a second to shout out Sean, Brandon, Rachel, Julie Johnson, Romulux, Buttercup, Lisa James, Jeremiah Bryan. And also, if you're part of the Green Room, by the way, just type in R. Not G this time, but R. I want to see how many R's come up. R. Follow some directions, guys. We're going to pirate this thing up. R. So, Surf and Go, Michael Cook, In the Sun by the Beach. That's a good handle. I like that one. Don Abraham, Marcos. I can't shout out everyone. There's a ton of people here today. I want to see a bazillion R's come up. Here we go. Look at all these R's coming up.
That someone threw a G in there.
Yeah, tons of R's. So yeah, if you're wondering what the Green Room University is all about, check out the link below. Get the free guide too, and check out, our main page. I think you'll like it a lot. So let's get into the actual journey of starting an e-commerce store. And to echo what Raiken was talking about, one of the main how do I say, not selling points of this, but the main reason why this is something to at least listen up to or keep your ears open to is because, Raiken, how much control do you have on this project?
I mean, everything. I control the marketing. I control the products. There's no restrictions. Obviously there's a couple restrictions if you're marketing on like platforms like Facebook and Twitter and different things. You can't, be swearing and doing crazy things like that. But, there's a lot of control, a ton of control, and I love it. I love being able to control my destiny, my marketing, my products, my everything. So, that's the easiest way to put it.
Are any of the things that,
sorry, how in control are people on Amazon, Eric, right now?
People have been a little uneasy these last couple weeks to the last couple months with the restrictions. People finding out that they're restricted for like N64. Seriously, like how do you get restricted for an N64? Like, why is Amazon doing these things for Nintendo Wii? They're asking for $1,000 and receipts and manufacturer like OK or distributor OK forms to be able to get unrestricted. Like, it's very uneasy. I could feel the tension not only in the green room but just like in the whole entire Facebook space.
Yeah, I was looking at an arbitrage opportunity last week off of Craigslist, a really nice Black & Decker product. Believe it or not, they actually make a decent product. One of their things
I've sold Black & Decker stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I mean, in comparison to like Makita and like Ryobi, like Black & Decker is like really like the bottom of the bottom. Like there's a zillion things better than Black & Decker. But I was looking at this arbitrage opportunity, I was about to lowball the guy on Craigslist, but I was like, let me go check out this model number on Amazon, and I was restricted. I was like, of all things, Black & Decker, like that's crazy to me. So going back to the topic of the show, control is everything. Anytime that you ever read a Kiyosaki book or Trump this or that, control on your business that's paramount. The more you control, the more you can control your income. And that's important down the road. As you get older, income needs to get more stable, right? So let's talk about the journey of starting an e-commerce store. Let's just crack right into it. We kind of hinted on the whole thing about diversifying. That's very important. This is like true diversification. There's like, I don't know how much more diversifying you can get outside of just building your own type of like copy of Shopify, for example, in this. I mean, this is one of those things, and we're going to get into the questions here in a second, but Shopify is a very, I wouldn't say easy to work with, but anything you can dream up, can you get it done through Shopify, Raiken, yes or no?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm focusing on apparel right now. So I'm focusing on print on demand clothing right now, but you can sell any type of product. You can white label, private label your own products. You can get things imported from China. You can set up wholesale distribution agreements. You could drop ship, which is something I definitely want to talk about a little later on, because I've got quite a few friends who are doing very well with drop shipping. And I know the word drop shipping, a lot of people kind of frown upon it, but it's not exactly what people think it is. And it's not really unethical as well. I think there's ways to go about it that's unethical. But yeah, there's so many different ways and products. And I mean, you could get it done with pretty much anything, on Shopify.
Okay. So now define, in your words, what exactly is Shopify? Someone goes to the Shopify.com thing. This is what, if they go there?
It's a platform that allows you to be able to easily set up your own e-commerce storefront. So for example, if there was no Shopify, you'd have to code out your whole entire website. So Shopify is like it's almost like a WordPress in a sense. You know how WordPress makes it easy for people to build blogs and stuff? Well, Shopify makes it easier for people like you and I who are selling on eBay and Amazon and different things like that, e-commerce, to bring e-commerce to life on your own website. So they have different applications, just like apps on your phone. They have apps that make it easy to track your shipping. They have apps that make it easy to track your Facebook pixel. They have apps that allow you to communicate with your customers. So essentially, it's just a software in a sense that allows you to be able to build an e-commerce store without knowing how to code websites and CSS, or is that what it's called? Or is it CSS or CCS?
They use CSS, yeah.
HTML, all those different things. You don't need to know anything like that. It's the same thing with WordPress. So it makes it super easy to be able to launch your own e-commerce store versus having to code everything from scratch.
Okay. So we kind of hinted on why someone would want to even start their own e-commerce store. This is, I mean, freedom at its best. Like if you can figure out the nuts and bolts, right, you could theoretically be anywhere remote in the USA, as long as you got a laptop, right?
You could be anywhere remote in the world.
Yeah, in the world. But you're right. But like, like as you build this thing in the
Depends.
infancy, like Steve's not going to go to a different country yet.
It depends how you set it up, though. I want to say, like, you can easily set it up to have like physical products. Like, I know some people who have their own physical products that they thrift, and they set up an e-commerce store, a Shopify store, and they're fulfilling all their items. So in that sense, you're not going to be mobile. You're not going to be able to just move all around. The way that I've got it set up is kind of like an FBA model, but it's a little different. I do print on demand. So for example, I have a niche. Somebody asked in the comments, do you have a general store? And a general store means you could be selling like earrings and dog stuff and cat stuff and flowers and baseball gloves. That's a general store. I have a niche store, so I'm targeting a specific person. And I do print on demand apparel right now. I believe the products I have right now in my store are tank tops. I have hoodies. I have t-shirts, V-neck t-shirts, and I do print on demand. And it's similar to Merch by Amazon, where I have my designs up on my Shopify store. And when somebody buys one of my shirts through my marketing efforts, and I'm primarily doing Facebook marketing right now, I have a company called Custom Cat that will actually, Custom Cat and Shopify communicate. So when someone buys a shirt on Shopify, the app communicates with Custom Cat. They get the order, they print they have my shirts. I don't pay for all my inventory. It's like Merch by Amazon, right? The shirts are all there. You don't buy it until it sells. So they get the shirt, they print the design, they ship it to the customer. I have apps that then get my tracking from that company that automatically sends to the customer. So I'm focusing on print on demand. I forgot what the initial question was, but I wanted to give you a little insight in terms of my business model. I think what we were touching on was like, can you travel? Can you go anywhere? Depends on your business model. If you're drop shipping, if you're doing print on demand, even if you're selling digital products, I know some people that are doing that. You can travel around and be remote. But yeah, it depends how you set it up. I mean, the options are endless. Kind of like with Amazon FBA, you can set it up to where you travel if you're doing private label, white label, wholesale, FBA, or you can set it up to where you can't leave merchant fulfilling items. So.
There's a question from Lance White, but it's not a question, it's more like a remark, but this is essentially kind of the same thing that Dave Koziel, your friend, has been working on as well, right?
Yeah, Dave Koziel, I want to take a second to graciously thank Dave Koziel and take a moment to say to anyone out there, if you're looking to learn any business, get around like-minded people. I'm so grateful for the relationship that I've built with Dave Koziel over the last couple of years, because without him, without my buddy Justin's help, who actually he's like 17 years old and he's done over $500,000 in sales in like 6 months. Without Dave's help and Justin's help, I never would have got to the point where I was able to start a e-commerce store from scratch and make my first sale literally a couple days after I launched. My store's only been open for about a week now. I did make my first sales, just to kind of share with you where I am, but the power of relationships are huge. And without Dave's help, I mean, he helped me so much. I can't even explain it.
Yeah, and to keep the privacy of what Raiken is working on, like, to his liking, I think there'll come a time where maybe we'll disclose a little bit more about that business, the actual, site and like how you can find you. But for right now, all questions that are pertaining to that, we're going to dismiss because it's not.
Yeah, I'm not going to release my niche. I'm not going to release my website. And you might be wondering why. To be 100% honest with you, I've been putting everything out in the public for a long time now, and I kind of want to just have a project that's behind the scenes. I don't want to be getting a million questions from people like, when I've released certain things, every time you change a little thing on a book or a website, they're like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do that? I love helping people, but I want to focus on my business. I don't want to focus on answering to why you're doing this and why you're doing that, and even creating a lot of competition for myself with the particular business model that I have. But down the road, when it's established, who knows, maybe I'll let it out there. But for now, I'm going to kind of teach you how to fish, and instead of just giving you the fish, if that makes any sense.
That being said, if you're in the green room right now, there are 9 well-written updates that are in there that started from what seems to be 60 days ago at least, or maybe 30 days ago.
30 days ago, yeah.
30 days ago,
month,
okay.
Man.
30 days of like, Steve.
It's pretty detailed.
Yeah, it's pretty detailed stuff. If you are looking at the nitty-gritty of what he's what he is creating, in the green room where to find it. just type in, I mean, all you got to do is keyword search update and you'll find literally all 9 of them. But anyway, and he's going to keep updating us, and he already updated us with the screenshot of the first sale, right? And you got the second and third sale like that same day, was it, Raiken?
Yeah, the first sale came in 2 days ago. I launched my store like, what was it, 4 days ago. And then like 2 days later, when my Facebook ads started to kind of scale up, I got my first sale at 8 in the morning for $29 and change. And then I was at the gym, man, and I was just like, I'm going to check my Shopify app to see if anything came in. And an order came in for $60, and one person actually purchased a shirt and then purchased another hoodie. So it was a $60 order. So super cool. It was really cool. I also want to mention right now, I'm about, I believe about $400 in the hole. So I'm not showing a profit. I don't expect to show a profit for, who knows, it could be 2 or 3 months. So takes time
Right.
with this type of business model.
When someone's purchasing something from, let's say, your store, right? This is probably jumping ahead, but we're gonna get to this right now. About how much do they walk away with a shirt and a hoodie, for example? Like, how much would you walk away with?
Sorry, I had to unmute my mic. It really depends. My hoodies cost $16 to get it my design printed on, and then they pay for shipping as well. So I'm in it for $16. I'm selling my hoodies for $34 or $35. So that's 16, 26. That's a little under $20 minus my ad spend, and then minus my reoccurring expenses. You know, my Shopify store, which is $29 a month, all my apps, different things like that. So it really depends. You know, let's just say in a perfect world, it was an organic sale off of my Facebook page, which has over 3,000 likes now that I built up to. You know, that's $18, $19. But my profit margins are probably going to be based on what Dave's been doing and based on what my other friends have been doing, because I'm literally just modeling their exact business model with just a different niche. It's probably going to be somewhere around 30% margins, 20 to 30%, maybe more, maybe less, but probably right around 30%.
Okay, cool. Eric, got a question for Raiken?
When those sales go off, do they cha-ching, or is it something where you have to like check your email?
It's not cha-ching. I was actually going to just take a look on the App Store to see if there's anything that could trigger a cha-ching based on, you know, my store popping up saying, you know, you have an order. Is there anything out there like that? I think there is, right?
You could probably program something with the if this then that, or specific email notification. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It makes it so much more enjoyable when you hear a cha-ching. So I need to get that set up. That's going to be on my update, my green room update.
You get that positive feedback. Yeah, and if you can't find the post in the Facebook group, go to the website, greenroomuniversity.com/ecommerce, and it's all there really nicely all in one spot. So
cool. Amazing. All right, so let's kind of go into choosing a store, finding a niche. Like, how could you elaborate on that, Raiken?
Yeah, there's a couple ways you can go about it. When Chris says finding a niche, that's if you decide to go targeted, right? There's two. You could either go with a general store where, you know, if you go to Walmart, it's a general store. They've got fishing stuff, they've got clothing, they've got Christmas stuff, they got a million different things. Whereas if you go to like a you know, a bait and tackle fishing store, it's going to be 100% fishing. They have a specific person that's going to be going in there. You've got to decide which route you're going to go. I went the niche route. I'm targeting a specific person. I have a customer avatar. I've got it all written out, who they are, what's their ages, what's their genders, what's their demographics, what are they interested in? And that's the route that I went. So first you got to choose, do you want to go general or do you want to go niche? I suggest going niche just because with platforms like Facebook, you can target them so specifically. It's very powerful, unlike any time before. So if you're going to go niche, you have two routes. You could either go with something that you're passionate about and interested in, or you could go with something based on research, right? So that's up to you. I went with something that I'm interested in and I'm passionate about because, you know, I know myself and I know if I'm not like into it, if I like don't get pumped up about it, then I'm probably not going to give my all. So I'd recommend going with something you're interested in. I would take out a pen and a pad and I would write down, you know, ask yourself at the top of the piece of paper, what am I interested in? What am I excited? Like, what do I like to do, right? There's a million niches out there. There's so many people like fishing, dogs, cats, sailors, motorcycle folks, cars. I mean, fitness, health. I mean, there's so many, bodybuilding. There's a million different niches. So, I'd recommend going with something you're interested in. Write down a whole list. And if you're good, with keywords and the Google Keyword Planner and how to, search YouTube and merch and do your research that way, you can go with something that's popular. The only problem is you might not be interested in it. I'll actually tell you what I was initially going to do. I was actually initially, I decided to go with the passion route, right? But initially I was going to go with the research, keyword research, what's in demand route. And guess what I was going to actually create my store around? You won't believe it. Any guesses?
Paddleboards.
Hunting's a great niche, but no. Paddleboards, no. Babies. I was going to start selling like stuff to babies. You know how there's always babies popping out. That's like a freaking a thriving market. Like there's
there's guaranteed to always be babies.
Yep. So that was actually a niche that I was going to go into, and I thought to myself, like, how am I going to create content around this? Like, how am I going to build a brand around this? So, take it for what it's worth. My buddy Dave Koziel, he's got a website centered around beer. I've got another buddy centered around actually hunting as well. So, I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. What would you guys do if you were to start your own Shopify store, Chris and Eric? Would you go with the analytics, the numbers? This is proven to work. Or would you go with something you're passionate about? I know what Chris is going to say.
Yeah, I know. I think everyone knows which route I'm going to go. Which I do have plans of actually opening up a Shopify store, but I'm going to do it a little bit different than Raiken's doing it. But that's as much as I'm going to tell anybody at this point. I'm like you, Raiken. Like I like to focus a whole lot of stuff too. And I don't like to let I'll update the green room with all my progress, of course, but I don't really like to tell many other people until it gets some really good traction. But Eric, for example, let's take a guess on Eric. What is Eric really passionate about? Cycling, video games. He's incredibly amazing at video games. We had a video hangout number 2, private hangout this morning at a green room. It was so good. I
still am surrounded by 7,000
Dude, you are like
video games right now.
The stuff you were showing on the screen. We had another video game expert on the panel as well, and that guy was looking at you like, oh my gosh, like this guy's got serious stuff going on. But anyway, I would have to bet video games, travel, or cycling with Eric. What do you think?
I would say, okay. What do you think, Steve?
Cycling's a great niche as well. I know a couple people with cycling stores as well. I think you would go with probably something to do with fitness. I think that's something you'd probably be passionate about, I'm assuming.
I'll tell you right now what I'd be scared. Tell me if this is a good reason or not. With video games, I'd be scared about licensing issues with graphics, with trademarked phrases or whatever, trademark names. That's something that I would want to think about, right?
Yeah, you that's definitely something you'd have to look into. I mean, I dealt with that a lot with Kindle publishing. You got to be careful. That's really like a big red flag with merch by Amazon.
I'd probably not go with video games just for that reason off the top of my head. I would do something healthcare related, maybe with medicine or with pharmacy, I think.
I've got a buddy who he has a Shopify store that's targeted towards nursing, and he sells. He has a nursing app. He has nursing cards, and it's just, that's the beautiful thing about the Shopify thing. I mean, I love going out picking, guys. Like, people ask Steve, are you quitting eBay, Amazon? Like heck no. Like, I love it. Like, I was just at the thrift store earlier. It was a blast. I found a freaking vintage Tommy Hilfiger fleece. I mean, it's too much fun. But the cool thing about the Shopify business model is, you can create your own products. You can get things sent to you. You're not out there chasing, it's cool. I think it's a cool diversification. And for my personality type, it works. Chris and Eric knows me better than anybody else. I love crunching the numbers. I love marketing. It's just something I'm passionate about. If you're not into marketing, Shopify might not be for you, because this is one thing I really want to put out there, guys. The beautiful thing about eBay and Amazon is they do all the marketing for you. You don't realize how much they're doing, guys, how much ad spend they're spending on a daily basis to rank in Google, how much money they've spent on brand awareness, social media, social proof. I mean, it's just so much money that they spend to get their products in front of customers.
So we shouldn't feel as bad when they take that 10%. Like, you should feel very grateful that you didn't have to do.
Well, especially when they take the 30%. FBA takes 30%, and people are like, that's too much. Like, really? Like, would you like to have 5,000 items in your garage then? Like, you know what I'm saying? But you have to look at it for what they're doing. And these little robots are running around shipping these things off like at 2-day Prime ship. I mean, you try doing that. You try to handle 100 of those a week and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example. But anyway, let's take 1 second real quick in the show. It's 8:25 right now. Let's take a second to get some questions out to Raiken. So if you're in the feed right now and you got some ideas, or maybe you want to have a question that you want me to ask Steve, I will do it right now. I do want to shout out a couple people. Picking for Profit's in the house. Hey, Picking for Profit, reach out to us behind the scenes. I want to get you on one of these hangouts, man. I know what you do, and I would like to definitely get you on one of the hangouts. So there was a question by In the Sun by the Beach. I needed to address this. Are the private webinars stored on the Green Room site? Yes, they are. It takes us on average between 48 hours to a week to get them like all good. I mean, the ones we did today and the ones that we did yesterday, those all require links in the description too, because we're referring to other things to master, video games. That was our webinar this morning. It was a 4-part series, by the way. But anyway, yeah, we have to populate it with links, make sure it's all good, edited, cleaned up, and then it's going to be on the site. At the same time, on the site, you can check out a portion. Like if you're ever wondering, like what dropped in October, what dropped in November, there's a section in the site for those new things that drop, so you'll never be out of the loop, wondering, like hunting around the site, like where do I find the latest things, So it's really well organized. Check it out. As always, if you're wondering what the Green Room is, and you see Raiken's shirt right there, the Green Room, check out the link below. Check out the link. It's the first thing down below. And yeah, so we got questions coming in. Let's take a look here. Question from Jeremiah Bryan. Oh, I think we know this guy. Are you using Instagram marketing as well to drive traffic to your site, or primarily Facebook ads?
Yeah, so I'm starting one thing at a time. It's really easy to get overwhelmed with something new, and I've got a track history of in the past of starting things and not really finishing it. So I'm trying to take it a step at a time. I'm focusing on Facebook, building up my Facebook page and its organic reach, but most importantly, my Facebook ads, creating various ads and ad sets and campaigns, and going after different audiences and tracking conversions and whatnot. But Instagram, I've got like 30 followers. My Facebook, I've got like 3,000 followers. I haven't focused much on it, but I need to. I know I need to start cross posting, which means I need to take my Facebook content that's helping to build up my organic reach and start posting on Instagram. Also, one thing I want to get into with Instagram, it's something that's called Instagram influencers. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but what a lot of people are doing, and we might even want to look in this, for helping to promote the Green Room, to be honest with you. But what a lot of people are doing is, say for example, you have a Shopify store. Let's go with the fishing example. Say you're selling fishing rods and reels and different tackle and bait. Say you've got a fishing Shopify store. What you're looking for is traffic. You need targeted traffic to your store, not just any traffic, targeted traffic, people who are likely to purchase your fishing stuff. So you need traffic. So you can do the Facebook ads, you can do the Facebook posting, organic reach. But the cool thing about Instagram influencers is what you do is you reach out to somebody with maybe 50,000, 100,000, 200,000 followers, targeted followers in the fishing niche, and you approach them and say, hey, would you allow me to pay you to, put a post on your page? I don't know exactly how it works. I've never done it before. I've read about it and I've talked to people who are doing this, but they're reaching out and they're paying them, whether it's 50, 80, $100 for a post. And that influencer, that Instagram account owner is actually posting, a sequence of posts on their Instagram. And people are doing really, really well with that because Instagram is huge. Instagram is freaking absolutely huge. How many people out there have a girlfriend or a boyfriend, and an hour before they're going to bed, they're just flicking through? I can't tell you how many times my girlfriend, she's flicking through Instagram and I'm like, that's a Shopify store. That's a Shopify store. That's an Instagram influencer post. Like, I'm spotting it. So if you ever wondered how Instagram folks are making money, they're actually taking money from people like me or someone like you with a fishing store to get the message in front of the audience. And I think Gary Vee talked a lot about this, right?
Yeah, he's real big on Instagram influencers. It's one of the lead things right now. Until Instagram gets on top of their marketing game, which right now formally they don't really have a marketing thing going on.
People are marketing on it.
Yeah, well, it's in the works because that's the natural progression that it would take, right? Because you have to understand that Facebook has a completely different demo than Insta, right? Like Insta has a way more engaging demo right now, and so they're going to figure out a way to monetize that pretty heavily. But for right now, it seems like what Raiken's talking about is, influencers are real big. Videos, right? Videos with captions, video with audio, just short clips, that sells too. But anyway, let's go into a rapid fire question thing real quick, because there's some coming down, Raiken, and you're the man to answer these. So William Whitfield says, Raiken, are you still doing publishing? Just quick answers.
Yes, I don't publish any new books, but I still earn income from CreateSpace, Kindle Publishing, and ACX, which is audiobooks, each and every month.
Okay, Melinda Juarez says, is PayPal still the way to go for e-commerce checkout and banking?
I use two checkouts. I use Shopify Payments, which is a built-in payment processor, and I also use PayPal. You're going to need a business account, but I use both of those. A lot of other people, they use Amazon Payments, they use Stripe, they use there's a couple other ones, but I use PayPal and Shopify Payments.
Are you designing your own shirts, or are you using a service like Fiverr? I think you're using Glenn, aren't you?
Yep. So I'm using a designer who's actually in the green room. So that's another, pro to being in the green room, getting able to connect with people like that. But yeah, I got 25 products in my store. So you can use someone or you can reach out to Glenn Zubia, great guy. Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com is great. Upwork's great. But in today's day of age, there's no excuse to not be able to get a design done. It's too easy to outsource it or do it your own. I mean, do it on your own.
Question from Timothy Fisk. Without giving your niche away, what kind of posts are you putting out to your followers? Are you asking them questions, or are you giving them quotes or tips, or what?
So I'm doing different things for my niche. I'm doing a combination of memes. Memes do very, very well. It depends on your niche. And a meme is like a funny little caption over a picture. We actually just had a meme contest. For my products, I'm actually just posting my shirts and I'm asking a question like, do you like fishing? Would you like to, I'm trying to think of an example. Who here loves being a fisherman? Just like, that's kind of a strategy a lot of people use, is they use the question. I also do a lot of posts that they don't have anything to do with making a sale. It's just for engagement. So for example, I know my niche very well. I know what pictures, I know what sayings, I know what quotes, I know what types of memes get them to engage. And that's something that if you're going to be doing Facebook advertising, you want to make sure that you schedule out posts each and every week. So once a week, I schedule out on my page, I'm posting 3 to 4 to 5 times engaging content. And you want people to engage with your Facebook page, not only because it helps them to share and build up your likes, which is going to get you more organic reach, but when you're starting to run Facebook ads on your Facebook account, the more engaged your account is, the better ad rates Facebook's going to give you, because at the end of the day, Facebook's like Amazon. They want a good customer experience. And you might not think about this with Facebook, but they make most of their revenue through advertisements, and they don't want spammy. They don't want people just coming in, throwing up stupid advertisements that are pissing off their customers, because anyone who's on Facebook, they're actually a customer to Facebook. You don't think about it because it's social media, but yeah, I post 3 to 5 times a day, engaging posts, and even the posts that I put out that are selling something, I still get I'm starting to get a lot of likes on my page. I'm starting to get 50, 100. I put a post out the other day that had 150 likes and like 30 shares. So it's building rapidly, and yeah, I'm excited about it.
Josh H, he had a question. Do you think that a different store for every niche is smart?
I think it's smart in a sense, because especially if you're doing like Facebook marketing, you have something that's called a pixel. The pixel is a piece of code that's almost like a person in a sense. And I know that sounds weird. How's a piece of code a person? Well, this piece of code that Facebook's developed actually learns. It actually watches to see who's adding to the cart, who's purchasing, who's interacting with anything that you're promoting. And this pixel, this piece of code actually evolves, and it starts to figure out who's buying, who's adding to the cart, who's interacting with the Facebook ads. Exactly. It's going wild. But if you have a pixel, you want to feed it data. You want to give it information pertaining to something so it could go out. Again, back to the fisherman niche. If you have fishing stuff and then you have dog stuff and cat stuff, how can your pixel ever really figure out what it's supposed to be looking for? Who's that perfect customer? Because you're confusing your pixels. So that's another reason why I think it's smart having one niche, because you can evolve your pixel. And there's so many stories of people who, when they're brand new, and that's why I said I probably won't show a profit for 3 months. Who knows? It could be 6 months, because I've got to give my pixel time to figure out who's my customer. And I know it doesn't make sense because you're probably thinking to yourself, if you have any understanding of Facebook marketing, like, well, can't you target certain pages and certain people? Yes. I'm still a beginner at this. I don't know everything, but I know from the people who are doing really well, they said you have to give your pixel time to evolve. So that's what I've been told, and that's kind of, you know, where I'm coming from.
So they shouldn't be starting 2 different stores to begin with. They should be kind of focusing on the one store until they get good at this.
There's people who have general stores. So again, I'm not an expert. I really am a beginner. I've done a lot of research. I really don't know the answer, to be honest with you.
Okay, so for the limited amount of money you've put into this and the 3,000 Facebook, you know, thing, how much are you paying for ads right now? Like, I know you have engagement, but you're going to only get better over time. Like, what's your rates right now? What are your rates?
Like in terms of like conversions and different things like that.
What do you speculate at your rate will be to acquire a customer and bring him to the site? At least bring him to the site.
I wish I could give you those answers right now, but I really don't know because I'm so new to running the Facebook ads. I've actually pulled a lot of my Facebook ads back because I'm having a little challenge right now with my pixel. It's not firing off events the way it's supposed to. So I'm actually working behind the scenes with Facebook and with a couple friends trying to fix the pixel. But to answer your question, I don't know. Based on what my buddies are doing and they're having success, $3, $5 to acquire a customer is pretty average. A lot of these guys are getting link clicks to their store for like really good ads, or $1 or $2 to get link clicks. So, you know, the cool thing about Facebook is, for example, say, let's go back to the fishing niche. I want to kind of share with you how this all works with Facebook advertising. You can create an ad, right? Maybe you have a shirt that says, I love fishing. You could run that ad to a specific Facebook page for anybody who liked the page. Maybe you have a page that's called Connecticut Fishermen. I could run that ad to Connecticut Fishermen. I could run it to Rhode Island Fishermen. I could run it to Texas Fishermen. And then I could compare all 3 ad sets to see which one's getting the most clicks, which one's getting the most add to carts, which one's getting the most initiate checkouts, which one's getting the most purchases. And I could see Facebook gives you this information. It's so powerful. So that's what I'm doing. I'm in the stage of experimenting. I'm using something called the Audience Insights tool, and I'm experimenting with different audiences within my niche to see which ones are engaging with my content the most, which ones are buying the most. And the issue I'm having and the challenge I'm dealing with right now is my pixel isn't firing off properly. It's not telling me who's adding to the cart every time. It's not telling me who's viewing the content. And that's the name of the game with Facebook advertising. You need to be able to understand your analytics, because the name of the game is kill the losing ads and scale the winning ads. But if you can't understand and read your analytics properly, you're going to lose 100%. So hopefully that kind of clarified a little bit.
Okay. So let's go into the outline again real quick. We just did 10 minutes of questions right there. Let's touch on graphics and design. You were talking about Glenn and all that kind of stuff, but essentially you can go to Fiverr to get graphics and design as well, or you could even do it yourself if you're semi, snazzy. You can look at a couple tutorials about Illustrator, right? Not Illustrator, the other one. What's it called?
Canva?
Sorry. No, wasn't I talking? Well, maybe it was Illustrator.
Illustrator is what you would use for t-shirt design.
Photoshop?
Yeah, Illustrator. Yeah. What'd you say?
Photoshop?
No, Photoshop's more photo. Yeah, so it is Illustrator. Yeah, but Illustrator is like $20 a month. You can get the cloud version, always update it whenever you want to. But yeah, that one right there, 4 decent YouTube videos. I think there's one with like Terry someone, not Terry Crews, but like Terry White, I want to say. If you search Illustrator tutorial on YouTube, this Terry White guy, like you'll see him everywhere. And he's got a pad and everything. He teaches you a lot of stuff. So. But you can essentially, if you don't want to pay for a graphic designer, Raiken, they could essentially just make their sayings and make their text-based stuff like right there. I mean, it doesn't take that long. I learned Illustrator. It was pretty fun.
Yeah.
But if you want a little bit more high quality and stuff that you want to pop on Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff, you suggest definitely getting it.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many things I had to do to get this Shopify store launched. And again, I want to put this out there. If you're a green room member, go through all the updates if you're interested. It's very, very detailed. I've literally detailed out every action I've taken. There's so many things to do. I started messing with Canva, Chris. I don't know if I told you. Before I contacted Glenn, I started messing with Canva because I know there's a way to get a transparent background and do it. And I was trying to figure out dimensions and this and that. And I'm like, this looks like crap. Like, why don't I just pay the $10 a design to get it done, or whatever it's going to cost you, right? Depending on how in depth your designs are. And that's what I did, and it worked out. I got my designs back within, I think it was like 5 days. So, I mean, big shout out to Glenn Zuby. Man, he freaking delivered big time for me. So,
And they look awesome. Like,
yeah, they're super awesome.
Do you give him the idea, or do you just tell him like to go wild with this theme?
So the way I did it was this is what I did. This is how I found my designs, right? I went within my niche and I started searching websites like Merch by Amazon. I started searching websites like Teespring, Sunfrog. There's all these different like shirt companies out there that you can upload your shirts and sell it. And I started to see, like, I started to write down all the different designs and stuff that were selling really, really well. And essentially what I did was I just modeled them. I didn't copy them. I didn't copy them word for word. I didn't copy everything, but I pretty much figured out what was working and made my designs that way. So pretty much what I did is I took screenshots of all the ones that I wanted, and I told them, you know, make something that's different, but I want to keep this kind of this theme in a sense.
Cool. Very good. Yeah. Why work harder when you can just see what's selling really well and model it? Like I said, he didn't steal
I'm not
it or
super
anything.
creative in that sense. So
yeah. No, I hear you. That's smart. That's a smart way to do it for sure. Okay, so let's talk about now adding products to your store. So this print on demand thing, let's go into this custom cat thing. What exactly is customcat.com?
Custom Cat is a t-shirt fulfillment company. So essentially what they do is, let's just think about a warehouse that has a bunch of t-shirt presses with a bunch of t-shirts in stock. And, you know, let's just say you own that company, Chris, right? Let's just say you own Custom Cat. And here I am with my Shopify store. I've got my Shopify store. Maybe I've got this shirt on my Shopify store. Literally, it would look just like this on my Shopify store without a mannequin. If Eric comes and buys that green room shirt off of my Shopify store, Shopify will notify you, Custom Cat. There's an app that notifies them, and the order will come into Custom Cat. You'll get the order and you'll fulfill it. You'll take the shirt. I have different variants. So I have tank tops, I have hoodies, I have t-shirts, V-necks, I have different colors. So I have different variants. You get the order, you get the address, you get all the information. Shopify sends it all over to you when they check out, and you fulfill it. You take the shirt, you print it, you fulfill it, you ship it off, and you give me the tracking information, which then I have an app that will communicate that with my customer and update them throughout the process. You know, your item's been shipped, your item's in transit, your items hit your local town, your item's been delivered, kind of like Amazon. So that's how it works in a nutshell. And you could go into Custom Cat to make sure that the order's been fulfilled and they're working on it. You can check the whole process. So yeah, it's really, really neat, man. I never knew up until a month and a half ago that anything like this existed. So yeah, I mean, for the Merch by Amazon folks out there who maybe you're having a hard time getting your items visible, which is a problem right now on Amazon. I think with a lot of products, there's so much competition, it's hard to rank. And with Amazon's algorithm, they're typically always benefiting people with the most reviews, which, you know, everyone's out there buying fake reviews, and they're typically benefiting the new listings. So it's tough to stay up at the top. If you're having trouble with that, if you're getting a lot of your items copied, if you're having trouble with the margins, because that's another thing about competition, it drives the margins down, you might want to look at Shopify and Custom Cat, because another cool thing and another difference between what I'm doing with my t-shirts versus Merch by Amazon is this. If you want to sell this shirt on Merch by Amazon, a customer has to type it in and somehow find the shirt. That's hard. That's very, very hard, especially with all the competition. What I'm doing is I'm finding my customer and I'm putting the shirt right in front of their face, right on the news feed. Boom. You know, imagine there's a Connecticut fisherman out there who loves fishing in Connecticut. What are the odds of them going on Amazon and looking that up and finding your shirt with the competition? It's tough. But say it's a late night, you know, it's like an impulse purchase, people like to call it. Late night, you're scrolling, you're like, man, I need to get a freaking cool shirt to wear in front of my boys, you know, the next fishing, you know, event. And you're scrolling through, and then boom, I love being a Connecticut fisherman. That's powerful. That's very, very powerful. And then the fact that you don't have to, you know, have the physical item in your own space and fulfill it. I mean, it's powerful, guys. I mean, this is some really groundbreaking stuff. And people have been doing this for years. I'm acting like it's groundbreaking. People have been doing this for like 5 years, I think now, maybe more.
The other alternative is to create a storefront through Shopify. You can actually fulfill your own orders too.
Yeah, sure.
Which, if you have a little bit more custom stuff, which might be a route that I start taking, but you can fulfill your own orders. But there's all kinds of ways with Shopify. If you can dream it up, it can be done with Shopify, correct?
Pretty much, man. It's Not really much different than eBay or Amazon, except you control all the moving parts.
Cool. Interesting. Okay, so the power of apps within your Shopify store, elaborate a little bit on that. Like how they're just apps for anything that you could ever want, right? Anything you ever want, it's there, right?
Yeah, like for example, like that piece of code called the pixel, you have to install it on like all your pages on Shopify. And it's like, if you don't know anything about code, which I don't know much about it, like it's a nightmare trying to like, Eric, you know, you've been messing with code a little bit. It's so hard to find that exact thing. And if you like mess up your code, you're just screwed. Well, there's an app I use an app called Perfect Pixel. I just install the app, and when I open up the app, it says, put your pixel here, and I'll install it on all your pages for you. Boom! Wow. There's an
Might kind of happen.
There's an app where instead of me having to, one of the big issues with Shopify that I've heard from some of my buddies is customer service. People are always asking, where's my order, and then you got to fetch the tracking and this and that. Well, there's an app that, like I said before, will, once they place the order, it'll update them throughout the process. So that eliminates that. There's apps for different meta tags. There's apps for different, there's like so many. There's an app, just like think of your iPhone. There's an app for everything pretty much. But
so are these
smaller.
apps free or are they all paid?
Most of them are paid.
Is it one time or recurring, or is it kind of vary?
Kind of the stinky thing about it is with the Shopify apps, a lot of them are paid, which kind of stinks. I'm logging into my store right now because I want to talk about a couple more apps that I'm using, but a lot of them are recurring. Let me see. I'm going into my apps right now.
You're on screen share.
I've got an app called Privy, which actually, you ever been on a website and you have that thing that pops up on the screen that says like 10% off, like enter your email here? Well, typically you'd have to code that out. I have an app that does that, which actually landed me a sale, which is pretty cool.
It sounds just like WordPress.
Yeah, it's just for Shopify. I have an app called
ShopItPress.
Facebook Product Feed that actually took all my products from Shopify and put them all on my Facebook. So now all my products are on Facebook, and they can actually buy it off of Facebook and use Facebook's payment processor. So it's just really, really, it's cool. It's very neat.
Interesting. Okay. Let's go, because we already got to the how to sell products within your store. We touched on organic Facebook, Instagram engagement, Facebook ads, influencers, email marketing. The very last thing here, and we're going to break off for about another 10 minutes of questions here. But the conversions and profit margins, you're looking at about 20 to 30%, right? What is
I'm guessing.
Your friends are at? That's surely was one of your questions too. I'm like, what kind of margins are they running?
They're a little higher for me, a little higher than me, because my particular niche and what I'm targeting, it's a little more expensive with certain things that I'm selling. I don't want to dive too deep into it, but their margins are a little bit higher. It depends on gender as well. So around 30%. Some people are doing 40, 50%. If you're going to get into drop shipping, which is something I like to talk about, your margins could be a lot higher as well. It depends on your items, like mugs. Like I can get a mug fulfilled with my company for a little over $4, right? So, I mean, if you sell a mug for 15, 16 bucks, there's some pretty good profit margins there. So it just depends on what you're selling, but drop shipping, you can make more profit because you can get items drop shipped from China for $1 or $2 and sell it for 15, 20 bucks. And I've got a friend who's actually doing that right now and having a lot of success.
Okay. That's very interesting too. I did want to take a second to, we have 162 people watching the show right now. Do us a favor, because there are only 101 upvotes and 10 downvotes.
Smash that like button.
Make a decision. That's all we care. But yeah, please hit the like button. We would greatly appreciate it. This is really
it just shot up.
Information. Yeah. So anyway, I was talking to you guys behind the scenes, or at least, right? Yeah, Raiken and CP. But I'm actually getting with Glenn in the next couple of days and making my order. But it's gonna be it's just different. I'm doing something different. You'll see. But yeah, Glenn's a pretty good person. If you're in the green room, and you gotta definitely hook up with Glenn and his services. They're wonderful. He's done so many covers, so many YouTube banners for everyone. He's just been around the entire reselling community. If you want branding of any sort, you have to go to Glenn Zubia. Hustler Hacks also is his YouTube channel.
I'd like to see Glenn just go to a place with his portfolio and it's just like overflowing with all these.
His portfolio is huge by now. I mean, he's been in the game. He's been in at least the YouTube, helping people out in that game for at least 2-3 years now. So he does quality work. He's an amazing guy. He really is. Yeah. So I guess let's crack into the questions really quickly here. George by George, I've got it. That's the person's name. George by George, I've got it. Just smash that like button. See, that's really nice. So thank you so much. We appreciate that. All right. So if we have any questions for Raiken, and of course, if you're in the green room, you can just ask questions on any of those things that you see, any of those updates. We're on update number 9 so far, Raiken, in the green room, or 10. I can't remember anymore.
We're on update number 9. I did last night. So
yeah, last night. Okay, that's
10
right.
should be soon after I overcome these hurdles I'm dealing with.
Yeah, this is not some simple paragraph either. This is like well like thought out, drawn out kind
Too
of
much.
outline of. Yeah, it's a lot of information.
It's a lot. I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, it's almost like a diary. Like, I'm doing it like I want to help people, but it's like helping me so much to like look back and reflect. It's almost making me want to like start journaling every day, because like looking back, I'm like, holy crap. Like times I've been unmotivated. I'm like, what am I doing this all for? And I look back to like update 2, 3, 4, and I'm like, wow, like I've come a long way, even though like, I'm still in the hole and I'm getting this thing off the ground. It's pretty cool to look back.
So there's a remark from Uncookable that says, I smashed the like button, I broke my keyboard, so I'll be sending you guys a bill. Mr. Saddy123 says, I pushed the like a fragile, delicate flower just for you, Bubba, is what he said. All right, so cool. For Melinda Juarez, do you order your own merchandise for quality check or to hold your own inventory?
So I actually haven't ordered. It was on my update. I think it was update number 8, order a shirt. I haven't because my good friends have been doing this for 6 months and they said the quality was good. I know it's probably not good business practice to do that, but it's pretty basic stuff. I mean, I know the exact brand of the shirt that they're using. I mean, it's not much to it, but if I do anything that's drop shipping related or anything outside of just basic apparel, I'm going to definitely order it before, especially if it's something that's like outside of apparel. So it's always smart.
To also recap Custom Cat is not a cutting service either. They're not an alteration service. They're just getting blanks, putting it into it, and
I mean, when you open up your when you have your Shopify store and you're going through Custom Cat to like create your listings and stuff, it's kind of like eBay. You create your listings. You can put your design, like for example, you can put your fishing design. It's not my niche, but say you're doing your fishing. I love fishing. You can put that on a mug. You can put that on a shirt. You can put that on a hat. You can put that on pants. You can put that on tote bags. You can put that on backpacks and varsity jackets. Like Custom Cat has a million different things. For my niche, I'm starting with apparel. It seems to do well. I'm probably going to expand out to mugs next. I don't know if it's going to do well with my niche, but mugs, and I want to definitely get into pants as well, and then go into like some more obscure types of things through drop shipping as well. But it's cool.
Let me ask you this, Raiken. What's stopping you from clicking every single button and having a store that has like, for one graphic, there's 25 selections from it? Like, what's stopping you?
You don't want to overwhelm people. That's one thing I've learned a long time ago with marketing, with creating offers and selling products. When you overwhelm somebody, they make no decision at all. So it's better to have a couple, they only let you have 20 variations, right? So like for my shirts, I only have, or for my designs, I've only got, I've got the hoodie, I've got the V-neck, I've got the other t-shirt, and then I have the, I don't know, whatever the fourth one was. I only have 4 designs and 4 colors, and somehow that comes out to 20 variations. They won't let you go any more than that because they've done the test and they realize that, and I've known that for a long time. But another reason why I'm only starting off with a couple things is because you could put 1 million products in your store. They're not going to sell. You've got to go out and market it. That's one thing that I really want to instill in you folks is it's not going to sell itself. This isn't eBay. This isn't Amazon. A lot of you folks, and even myself, I'm accustomed to having eBay and Amazon do the legwork for me. When you own a Shopify store, you're doing everything, and the legwork's going to be done on your own. So having 1 million products isn't going to do anything. You've got to test each product. Granted, let's just say you don't have a YouTube following, you don't have Instagram, you don't have Facebook. Let's just say you're running straight up ads, Google ads, Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Instagram ads, whatever. You've got to test each product. And for each product you test, there's going to be multiple adverts, ad sets. And really what that means is you're going to be targeting so many different things to see what works. What's the point of having all those products? So hopefully that kind of made a little sense.
Another question: How would it be handled if someone tried to resell your items on Amazon or eBay?
They wouldn't have any margins.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I've never really. You guys, I'm so new to this. I haven't thought of that. I really haven't.
Or if they mean like take the design and put it on merch. Is that what
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's really anything that I can do. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not going to go out and file copyright claims and start that up. I'm too new. It's not a good. It's what's going to happen? What am I going to get a lawyer and spend $1,000? I mean, there's nothing you can do. That's the internet.
The people that are finding your site are customers. They're not creators. So that's another reason why you shouldn't like tell that many people about it. I think also is so you don't get your designs jacked.
I've got a friend who he told me don't go out and tell everybody about what your niche is, because he says people are cutthroat. Kind of like on Amazon, people are cutthroat. I mean, like, literally, they'll just cut your throat, take your design, and they don't care if you're dying in a ditch. I'm being crazy right now, but it's the same thing with Shopify. It's very easy. If you shared with me your Shopify store and I was a bad guy, I could copy your Shopify store, all your designs within a day.
Run better ads.
And when let's just say Eric, you're running an ad to Connecticut fishermen, you're targeting that page and those people. If I run an ad, we're going to be bidding ourselves up. So our adverts are going to become more expensive as well. So
we don't have too much time left. I really want to ask Steve this. So say somebody wants to learn, it seems very important, very heavy on the marketing side. So say somebody doesn't have a Dave Koziel, somebody doesn't have a 17-year-old genius. How are they going to learn this back end of Facebook? Do you have anything to recommend to them, book-wise, course-wise, or any resource?
I mean, you could learn anything out there on the internet, right? Like you could learn reselling, you could learn eBay, you could learn Amazon, you could learn Shopify, you could learn to be a heart surgeon. You're just going to have to spend time poking around. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of poking through Facebook groups, a lot of poking through just like reaching out to people and asking them a question and hope they respond. If you're in the green room, you're welcome. You're going to get a lot more easier access to me if you have any questions. And again, I'm still a beginner, right? So I don't want to come off like I know all the answers, because I'm far from it. But if you're in a green room, you've got all those updates. You can ask me. Maybe I can hook you up with some folks if you want to talk to them. But, I think at the end of the day, I would say hang out on a lot of Facebook groups and forums and try to help people, or, talk to them or reach out to them and just hope that somebody helps you, and watch as many videos as you can and, experiment, right? Experiment with everything that you learn, and you'll figure out quite quick what works and what doesn't. But you're going to waste a lot of time and a lot of money. And I know that's kind of crummy advice. I mean, build relationships. I guess that's the best thing at the end of the day. It's tough. It's what did you guys do out there who are watching? How did you learn Amazon FBA? Because that was super complicated too. How did you learn how to send your first shipment in, guys?
Young helped me out. Young helped me out, and Eric helped me out. Yep, and various other people in the green room. But yeah, for the most part, it was Young, and then it was Eric who carried me through like the last nitty gritty portion. But yeah,
that's why it's so important. I want to just jump on this real quick. If you're watching these YouTube videos and you're in Facebook groups and you're just lurking, get out there and introduce yourself to people. Help them out. Like even if someone's having a bad day with a bad post, like don't do it just for yourself, but reach out to them, ask them how they're doing. Like build relationships with people, like meet up with them in real life, because I can't tell you guys, like every business I've ever started was like launched and had a success because of the people that I knew. I'm not the brightest guy. I'm not the smartest guy. Like I'm actually kind of like it's very hard for me to learn things, but I'm good at building relationships with people and helping others and being there for them. And I think that's just really, really important. If you get anything out of this, we live in a day of age where everyone's connected now through YouTube and social media. There's no excuse to not be able to figure out something, because there's always someone out there who's smarter than you, like this 17-year-old kid who, killed it with Kindle Publishing, moved on to Shopify, killing it with Shopify. I mean, there's always somebody out there who could help you. It's just, we live in an amazing time, guys. Go get it, go make it happen, and don't quit. Don't give up.
Okay, two last questions, one from Trevor and one from Melinda. Trevor's saying, do you pay for SEO? Are there SEO apps on Shopify, or are you going to handle SEO yourself?
Yeah, I haven't really dived into that right now at all. SEO is search engine optimization. So like your store, when you pop up in Google, certain things you could do to rank better and favor get favored with the algorithm. I haven't looked into that yet. I'm really just taking it a step at a time, but I'm sure eventually I'll look into it.
Okay, from Melinda, last question of the night. How many hours a day is this taking from you right now?
Well, a lot of the days I just spent like 30 minutes to an hour, and then there was other days where I spent 2 or 3 hours, but not really more than a couple hours a day, to be honest with you. A couple hours a day. Some days I didn't. Probably out of those 30 days, it was probably like 10 days I didn't do anything, like just very, very little. So
watching and waiting.
And also in the past 30 days, you were also on kind of like a micro vacation too. So that has to be factored in there too, right?
I want to mention that. Like I was having a hard time. Like without going too deep, I was actually throughout these 30 days, I was going through like a life crisis, to be honest with you. Like I was going through like a hard time. Like I don't want to go into it too much because the show is about to end, but I was like, you guys probably wondering where I've been. Like I've been going through some stuff behind the scenes. And I was struggling with getting the Shopify thing, off the ground. And essentially what I did was I got away for about three or 4 days. I went out to Newport, Rhode Island, relaxed, jacuzzi, got some good sleep. And, I was in such a relaxed environment. Like I banged out, like I spent like 2 or 3 hours every day out there in such a relaxed environment. My thoughts were so clear. Like, do you remember, like Chris, like from that start to finish, like it just happened. So you got to be in a good state of mind as well. If you're really, really stressed out, don't try to build this business like stressed out because it's very technical and you've got to be in a good state. So for what that's worth.
Okay, so there you go. We're 1 minute over. I do want to thank everybody for being on this show. Thanks to all the people in the comment feed that kept it like totally real and positive. Thank you for anyone that also liked the video. Like that was really nice of you guys. If you do get one chance, before the show ends, go ahead and hit the like button. This is definitely interesting information, and Raiken will update people, on these live shows as he wishes. But if you do want a little bit more direct connection and you want to see these updates, check out the greenroomuniversity.com. Fun place to be. Regardless if you don't go into this Shopify thing or not, there's a lot of eBay, FBA talk in there. Even Green Room Life has fitness talk now, and like there's a lot of stuff going on in Green Room Life. Our membership now, we are at 901 members of Green Room University in the Green Room, 340 members in the Green Room Life page now. So everything's growing. We feel good, to be out here doing live shows still. And if you ever want to catch some of the other stuff that we're involved in, make sure you subscribe to Raiken Profit, Bonafide Hustler, and the College Picker. Till then, next week we're going to have our last show before the Christmas holiday, so it should be a lot of fun. We're going to brainstorm kind of like how we're going to dish out that show, but it should be a whole lot of fun. And until then, we're still kind of trying to figure out June or July on this amazing meetup that's coming up in 2017. So we have a really big meetup that's probably going to be unbelievable. But yeah, we're starting to brainstorm that. So if you're a Green Room member and you're wondering like, what's the deal with the meetup, that's already in the planning stages and that's coming. So if you ever see a poll in the room or anything, please answer the poll, please, because that is going to dictate how the meetup ends up becoming. So that's pretty much it, guys. You know where to find us, and check out the links below. Till then, we're good, Raiken, right?
Yeah. Thanks for being super cool in the comments, guys. Have a great night.
Keep it real.
Bye.